Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This will be, I hope, the last episode of building this StackOverflow clone. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing to be notified when I live stream and build new apps. So in this episode I'm going to hopefully finish the app. So the stuff that we have left is to fix the name here in the header and then profile pages for each user, and that will be the main MVP part that will be done. So let's jump in. So as you can see, we have test user that we are logged in as, but the name does not show here. Instead it shows the email and we want to show the test. So first I will go back to my client, which is React app, and then I will go to app.js, so my main front file, I would say. And in here we are running check-auth to check authorization, and as you can see, after we get the profile we take the response and we set the email from the data of a response. So now let's go to API part, which is express app, and we have here user routes, and I guess we have profile information sent from here. So here's the profile that we can post to, but I think that yes, we do get request to profile, so we need to find API endpoint for profile. It will be /profile. Here's login, here is /profile get. So yes, so here we are checking secret, and if it's okay we are returning data. Alright, and the data is the email. Let's see. No, here the data will be the token. Let's check here in the HTTP request. So if I clear everything and I refresh, let's see. Here we have profile and it's a get request. Okay, so the response is the email, and we have also and we have also token cookie sent here. All right. So when we are logging in, and if we are logging in and then we are sending token cookie, and this token is created with email, and that's why we have email information in the request when we send login, and we save the email in our token where it's encrypted. So first we need to send some more profile information at /profile. So to do this, let's do something like this. When we verify and everything is okay, so it's here, then we don't want to send just the email, but instead let's get all user information from this email. So it will be get logged in user, and then here we need to provide token, so let's put token here. Then here we'll have all the user information, so we can put response JSON here with not data but whole user object. And then if we go back to our app, let's maybe first also clear this and refresh to see how will it look like. Okay, we have an error. Let's fix it. I think it's in check auth. Yes, it is. So here we are setting user, and we are setting email as response data, but instead we should use, let's see, response data email. Right, and that fixes our error. But then we want to set also maybe a user ID, or yeah, we need name here. So let's break it like here, and also name will be response data name, like this. And as you can see, now it worked. Here we have a name of the user. I want to quickly fix so it will align to right side. Let's fix it. Here we have profiling. Let's add text align right. Okay, a little better, but let's add some padding right of, I don't know, 20 pixels. Yeah. Now it's better. Let's do, okay, let's put it like here, 20 pixels. No, here will be 0 pixels from top and the bottom, and from the sides it will be 20 pixels. Maybe a little more, 30. No, 20 was okay. Alright, so this one works. Maybe 25. Yes. So the next part to finish our application will be to create profile pages for every user. So let's go to our app.js, and as you can see, our homepage is this route. So let's jump into a questions page component. And so here we have questions with timestamps. Here we are listing the questions. So let's jump into question row. And in here, we want to make those clickable. So let's see, here is who and when. Here we have userlink. Let's jump into userlink. Okay, so userlink is just a style component. Let's change it. I will remove this as a style component, and I think I have already built a component for this. Let's see. Yes, userlink, and my IDE has already imported this for me. If it doesn't do it for you, you need to add this line. All right, so now we are using this a userlink component. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, so we can add ID of the user, and then we can create link like this. So ID of the user will be author.id, and we want to remove also those underlines, so I will jump back to user link, and here I will change to text decoration none, and maybe we want some hover underline, so text decoration underline on hover. Yeah, why not? So back to question row. So let's see if we have IDs. Yes, this one is ID 1 and this one is ID 2. Okay, so it goes to /user /ID of the user, but we don't have a user page yet. So let's create component for that. So in here where we have all components, let's create another one, new file, user page.js. And in here let's create a new function called user page that will return just an empty tags here, and we need to export default this function name, and let's just say here user page goes here. All right, the next part will be to add this as a route. So in our app.js we have all routes, so let's add the route for our users. So route path will be /user, or was it user or users? Users, then it will be :id. Component will be user page, and I think that is all. What went wrong here? Okay, user page is not defined. User page. Now it has been, let's see. No, yes, it has been imported here, but we have an error. Let's see. User page is not defined. It is defined. But there's something wrong here. We're missing some information. Let's maybe comment this one out. Then it works. And if we put this back, let's refresh. Let's click this one. Okay, it works. I just needed to refresh the page. So we have this user page goes here. Let's go to our user page component, and in here we need to show some user information. So let's remove this part from here, and let's put let's use main, and in here we'll have a container. I think I have defined container. No, it's not defined, but let's use main then, and then header 1, user. Yes, like this. Let me go quickly to questions page and see how is it done here. So we have header row, and let's see on profile page how is it, what components are we using. Okay, so let's copy this container. It's a style component with some paddings to our user page. Alright, and let's add the container here, and let's put the header 1 in our container, so we'll have some spacing. So let's go back to this user. Yes. Okay, and in here, let's we need to fetch information about the user. So let's do this. So first we need to create the function here inside, get user info, and here we'll use Axios get, and now URL to our API. So localhost 3030 /user. I don't know if /user or /users, but let's see in our user routes. Let's check question routes. We are using plural. Okay, so let's use plural. User page, users, and here the ID. So to get the ID, we need to get from URL, and we have it here inside match parameter, I think, match.params.id. Okay, let's save it. And then to run this now this function is not used, and to run this function, but only once, we need to import use effect, I think it was use effect from React, and let's use effect. And in here we have a callback, and let's put get user info here, and the second parent empty array, so it will run only once. So now this API callback should be called. So let's go to our network tab and see if it works. I will refresh. And yes, I think it's this one. Yeah, cannot get users 1, but that is because we have not defined this in our user routes. So let's define a new route in our API, and so this will be user routes get, and in here we will do /users/id, and here we will have request and response, like this, and a callback. So in here we want to get the user ID and return some basic information about the user. So let's maybe first get the user ID. So user ID is request params ID, and maybe just let's return it. So let's do response send, and maybe just response JSON and user ID, and I will refresh this thing here, and we have users 1, and in the response we are having this 1. Alright, so now let's change it to return user information. So we need database to select everything from users. Maybe not everything, we don't need to pick password and tokens, so it will not be everything. As you can see, I will open users table here. We want name and email, and I think that's all. Now we can do just email, just name. Alright, so let's do this. So in our user routes, let's select user's name, from users, and that will be it. So only first row, and then we have this user information, or actually only the name inside it. So we'll return the response, but not with user ID, but whole user object. So all information that we select, save, and but I forgot about where clause here. So here I'd add where ID will be user ID. So not first user, just in the table. Alright, let's refresh and see what do we have in our response. Alright, I guess here is our user. So we have name test. So that is that's good. Let's see here in our user page. So we are getting information. So let's do access get this, then user info, not response, and then we want to save response information to our state. So we need to also use state, and here we need also define our state. So let's do this. Const user info, and set user info is use state, and the default information will be an empty array, or maybe null. Alright, so when we get the response, let's just use set user info, and here response data. So the whole JSON will be saved into user info. So in here we don't want to show just user as a text. We want to first know if the user is loaded. So let's do user info, and then if user info is kind of true, let's do user info name. Yeah, so as you can see, now we have test here, and we could actually change the name here in the database to Mr. Test. And if we reload our page, it says Mr. Test. Alright, so we are showing user name, but that is like nothing. So let's also display some statistics. So I was thinking about showing points that user got for his or her posts, comments, answers, questions. So in our database we have posts that can be questions, answers, or comments, and we have author ID, and we have so for this user ID we have all those questions, answers, comments, and we can also check in votes which post got what votes. So let's let's show it here on the information about user. Alright, so if we go back to user page, we want to fetch information about votes for this user or points. So let's create a new function called maybe not a new function, we can return this information in here. So let's go back to our user routes, and here we are fetching user information. But after we are done, let's not just return the user, but let's also get user points. So we need to first select everything from posts where author ID will be this user, so it's user.id. And then we want to get everything, and we want also to join votes. So let's do join, and here we will join votes table. And on what columns? On posts.id equals votes.postid. Let me close this thing. Alright, so, and after we get this, let's do then. And then we have this posts with votes. Maybe we don't need to select everything, or do we? Let's just get posts ID and also posts title, and votes vote, I think it was called. Let's see, in votes, yes, this column is the column we need, so it's called vote. All right. Right, then we have this let's call it votes info, and with this votes info we can return user, and we also want to return votes info. So let's do like this: user and votes info. Now this will not work, so let's go back to user page, and here we are setting user info from the data from the response. So we need to change it to user like this. Let's refresh. Let's check response here. Refresh. Okay, so this doesn't work. I guess there's something wrong with my second query. We are selecting posts ID, post title. Let's check columns here. Yes, it's title. Let's check if we are importing everything correctly. Yes, I think everything should work. Let's see. What is wrong here? Something wrong with the query. Undefined columns, author ID. Select posts ID, posts votes from posts, inner join. We don't want to do inner, or maybe we won't, but let's move this thing back here after from, And let's see. Okay, we don't have this ID here because we are selecting only name. So that was the issue, but we have user ID here. So let's just use this one, user ID. And now if I refresh, we have this information. So let's open preview of this JSON. And as you can see, we are returning user and votes info. Alright, so in votes info, we have a question ID, we have title of the question and vote. And the ID of the question can be inside many rows. So I want to now group it after question ID. So let's do group by posts ID. And let's maybe split this apart so we select so we can clearly see what we are selecting. So we are selecting post ID, post title and votes vote, but now we will not select votes vote because we are grouping by questions, and instead let's use dbRow, and in here let's sum the votes, summarize the votes, so it will be votes vote as a votes summary. So let's see, now if I refresh, we have votes info and it's grouped by post ID. If we open the first one, vote summary is 2, because if we go back to this, we will have 2 points. Alright, so let's go to our user profile. So we send this user votes info. Let's go back to our user page, and in here, let's see, we need a state to save also this votes info. So let's define a new state for this. So here it will be votes info and set votes info. Use state, null will be default value for this state. And here we also want to set votes info response data votes info. So now we have this in our state, so we can display what post, what comment, or what gave what points. But I want also to have informations about what type of the post is it. So I'll quickly go to user routes, and I also want to display, let's just get everything from posts. Let's do posts asterisk like this. Now if I refresh, let's see, votes info. Okay, we have content, and we have created that, parent ID, title, and we have type here. Alright, so now we can go to our user page and we can use our votes info. And we want to maybe show a table here with all the points on every question. So we want to sort this information, this table bar votes summary, but I will do it in the database. So I'll go back to user routes, and here I will do order by, and here it will be votes summary and desk descending. So if I refresh, here we have votes information. This one has 2 points and the last one has -1. Let's see here. Here we have 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. Almost 1 has also -1. Okay, and I also want to limit this to 10 records. So we'll not have more than 10 rows in this table. So in the user page, now we can use this information that we have in user votes info. So yeah, let's create a table. So in the table, let's do table head, and in here are table row, and let's do maybe type. We also want to have maybe not like this. Instead of table, let's use a list. And in here we'll have a number of points. So for every votes info, if there is anything, then we'll do votes info map, and for every vote info row, let's call it like this, we will do le, and here we will show either the title or the content of this post. So let's do vote info row title, or if it's not there, vote info row content. Yeah, so now we are showing this all the information here. We also want to show votes summary, so let's do maybe like this, votes info row votes summary. So now on every row we have number of points, and now let's make it prettier. So I will import the style component. No, I have it already imported here. All right, so let's define the post row. Maybe let's check also how do we display this here. We would do something like this. All right, so let's define vote. Let's define post row. It will be a styled div with a background color of, let's do RGBA. Let's add some white. No, it will not be a styled div, it will be styled li, list item, and let's use it here, and it was called post row. Save. Okay, now it has different color. Let's put it outside of the container. Yes. I will go to questions page to see how we are styling question row. Styled question row. I think I would just take all this to our user page and post row, and I will use this. Oops, use this instead. Okay. We don't need this grid template. And we will actually need a grid template, but we will use the first column will be, I don't know, maybe like 50 pixels, and the other one will be the rest. And now let's see. So now we need to put everything inside separate divs. This will be a div and this will be another div. So now it's a little prettier. Alright, so now we want to make these points bigger. So let's create post points, style them, and const post points will be a styled div, because why not? And let's make this color, I don't know, maybe BBB, and font size of to rem, and text align right, and let's use it. So instead of this div, let's do post points. Okay, it works, but now let's add some padding. So let's make this smaller to 30 pixels and add some column gap of 20 pixels. Okay, this doesn't look like points. Let's see, how do we do this here? Alright. Maybe it does. I think it looks kinda good. But let's change this post row, and in display let's do list item. No, okay, it will be a grid, but this will not be styled li. This will be a styled link, because I want to do it that when someone clicks on it, it will go to this question. Alright, so let's import link from React router DOM, and now we can remove this li, and this will be a styled link. Now in here we can do that this is a link to questions slash and here we use votes info row ID, and we don't need any underline here, so let's do text decoration none. Yeah, so it goes to the question, but this, yeah, this will not work because this is a comment ID. So in here, let's do something like this. We will try to first go with parent ID, otherwise with ID. So here it goes with correct one. Here it goes with not a correct one. Let's check this one. Alright, so if I go, for example, to this one, another blah blah blah, it's ID post of ID 12, but it's not a question. So I actually want to show this, and here we have another blah blah blah, but it's ID 10. Okay, I think I can fix it. Here it should be parent ID. But then there can be this answer. My first comment to my first answer. Here should be also test everywhere here. Let's open question page and let's go back to, let's scroll to see answers. Here we have answers. Here we can fix the links to users with answer author ID. Oh, here will be ID like this. Okay. And instead of using a question email, we want to use question username if it exists here. Question user name, or but let's see if we are fetching it. Let's reload. Here we are fetching comments, here we are fetching answers. Let's see. It's answers. Let's go to post routes, posts answers. Okay, here we are fetching this. Get post children. Let's see here. Let's add the user's name as a DB row, and as let's select it as user name. Okay, now let's see. Let's go back to question page. Okay, here we are using, here is the answer. Here should be answer username or answer email. Yeah, so now we have Mr. Test here. Alright, and now the comments. Let's go to comments, and then we have comment outer, comment form, and we have comment, and inside comment we are using email, and here we should use props comment user name or email. And so we have now Mr. Test here, but also I think the links will not work. Yeah, let's see if we are fetching ID of the user. No, we are not. So let's use DB row users ID. Oh, we are fetching outer ID. Alright, so let's go back to comment, and in user link let's put ID and props comment outer ID. Okay, now we have the links working. Alright, so it kind of works. Now we also want to show total number of points. Let's go back to our user page, and in here we want to show total number of points. Let's do it under the header one, and let's use header 2 total points, and here we want to do a summary of vote info row. And to do this, I think there is a function called math sum. Let's Google this. Array sum javascript. Okay, reduce. Oh, all right. So votes info, and now reduce. All right. So here will be votes summary, and here will be votes summary. Not a number. Let's think. Okay, this will not work this way. Let's just count it. We need to loop through the array. Let's put it in our state. Votes total, and set votes total. We'll use state, and default will be 0. And in here we will do votes response data votes info for each vote row, we will do, let's do let total equals 0, and total plus equals vote row votes summary, and underneath let's do set votes total, and let's try to use this votes total. Okay, so we have total 5 points. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and -3 will be 5. Okay, so this works. Now the one thing that is not that beautiful for me is that this page differs from this page. But maybe it's not that important. But okay, when I click on this, I want to see my profile too. So let's go to header, and here we have some profiling. But this will not go to profile, but instead it will go to users, and here we'll use user.id. Okay, not this way, without those curly brackets. Let's see if it works. No, it's undefined here. So in checkout function, let's see if we set it. No, we are not setting it. Let's set it. Response data ID, and let's check if we are getting it from our user routes. Where we are doing get on profile here. Let's check it back. Yeah, we're doing get on profile. So it's not this one. It's not this one because this one is post. This one is register. This one is post to login. This one is get on profile. Okay, so we are fetching the user. So let's check if I refresh this one. Okay, we have the ID. So if I click, I get here. But I also want to check in this user page if this is my profile. Because if this is my profile, I would like to see some elements from here. A logout button and edit profile button. Maybe on the side. Yes, on the side. So on our user page, where we have this container, I will change it so we will have this 2 columns. The left column will be with those titles, the right column will be buttons. So here we'll do blue button link, to profile, to /profile, and it will be called edit profile, but this will show only if you are this user. So if we have a user info and user info ID equals the user ID of the logged in user. But to do this, we need to use state. So here we will add use state, not use state, use context, sorry, use context. And here we will define some information we get from the context. Use context, and here user context. So this has been imported. Yes. And from the user context we want to get user, and I think that's all. Alright, so let's see if we have user info and user info ID is user ID, then we want to have two buttons. The first one will be this, and the second will be logout button. Alright, let's do a blue button, logout. Okay, but why it's not showing here? Let's see. Let's maybe console log user. So this is the logged in user. I will check console here. Okay, it's an object and we have ID1. Okay, what do we have in our, let's see, what do we have in our user info? Console log response data user. We have only name. Okay, but we have this in here. We have the ID of visit user, so we can use this instead. So in here we can do, instead of using this, let's do this. If params ID, and I think it's a string, so okay, it doesn't work. Let's see why. I will do console log match params ID. So we have 1 and user.id, it's also 1. So why it doesn't work? Okay, let's console log if we have user info. Like this, it's true, and now it started kind of work. Okay, so we have edit and logout buttons here, and let's do parse int on this, and let's use triple equal. But we want to put it on the right side, so in the container let's do display grid and the grid template columns one FR, one FR. All right. The second will be 200 pixels. All right, and let's do const buttons. This will be container for buttons. It will be styled div, and it will have text align right. Let's see where we are showing the buttons. Here, let's do buttons. Okay, now they are aligned right. And let's do that everything inside, that is a direct child, let's do display block. Almost. Let's see. Okay. Maybe it doesn't need to be a block, but instead let's add some padding here. I will do break line here. Okay, this doesn't look good, and I will do then some style here. Margin bottom of 20 pixels, and we need those to put under each other, so let's add this BR back, maybe more than 20. Let's see, 50. Nothing has changed. Let's see. This doesn't do anything. Let's see, blue button link. It's a link, but let's do display inline block. Yeah, this fixed our issues. So we can now decrease margin bottom to 20. Will be more than enough, 10. Okay. And now we need to fix logout button. We have the function already in profile page. Here we have logout. I can just copy this one to user page. Logout, function logout, and we are doing check off, and then we are redirecting to home page. All right, we need check off from context. Now we have it, and now we're redirect to the home page. We need it as a state, so const redirect to the home page, and set redirect to the home page. We'll use state, and default will be false, and here we'll do set redirect to the home page to true when someone is done with logout. So now when someone click this button, let's do on click, we we just do logout. Now we need to also handle this redirect to the home page, and we need a redirect. So let's import it from here, and on the top of our return, let's do, can be even here in the main. So if we have redirect to the home page, that is kind of true, then let's do redirect to home page like this. And now let's see if this will work. If I click logout button, it almost worked, and there is cannot read property ID of null. Let's see where we are getting this. Let's change this. Okay, this doesn't work because we don't have any user information. So we have user info and we have user in context. That is kind of true. Okay, this one is not that pretty. Let's just quickly go to header and profiling. And let's check this thing. Let's put 20. Okay, now it's fixed. And yeah, where we are now, we are in header. I will remove the search because it's not part of MVP. So I will remove this search form, and I will just comment this. Maybe we will do it another time. And those needs to be put on the right. So let's go to here. Let's do it. Will have only 2 columns, so the first one will take the rest. Right now it works. Now let's log in. Test at example.com and test as password. Now let's go to our profile here. Yes. Now let's test logout button here again. Logout. Yeah. Almost, but yes. In our user page. Here, after we are checking auth, if we catch that user is not logged in, then we set redirect to the home page to true. And here we are returning content. But if redirect to the home page is kind of true, then we want to return redirect to home page. Yes. Now we are seeing this user and everything is okay. Now let's log in back, test at example.com, and the password will be test, and it didn't work. Test. Okay, it works. Now let's go to this user, total point 0, and there's even no info. But on this user, let's maybe name this another user, and it's this one. Okay, yes, total point 0, And the first question, let's add a +1 on the first question. Total points 1, first question. Okay, let's go to this user. I don't see the buttons because it's not my user, but on this user, that is my user that I'm logged in as, I can go to edit profile, or I can log out. Yeah, it works. All right, so let's log in back, test@example.com, test. Yes, the start page has changed, the index page, because it shows only those questions of the tags I'm watching. So the MVP is done. We have created profiles for users. Let's refresh. Yeah, we have profiles for users, and we have total points and points for each question answer. And now let's maybe add some titles here. So I will add, let's go to our client, and I will yarn add React helmet, and I will add React helmet so we can put some titles. And let's open React helmet. And the first will be start page, so it's questions page. Okay, and this is how to use helmet. Let's see. We are just importing helmet. And inside helmet we can do stuff like title. Alright, so in here let's do helmet, and here title, and here stack over cloned home, like this. Yeah, so we have stack over cloned home, and the other page will be question page. So let's go to question page. Question page. So helmet. Here we add question title. Question title. Question title. And dash stack over cloned, like this. So we have test tags to stack over cloned. Now maybe tag page. So let's go tag page. Here in the render, let's add the title. We have tag name in the match params name. It's params here. So stack overcloned PHP. Let's do PHP questions. Okay. Now let's go to profile page or user page. Still here in user page. And here we will do only after we have user info. So if we have user info, Then we will do user info name. Space here. Okay, this works. Maybe also profile page. Here we have I will just do your profile. Yes, it works. Yeah, we have titles now. And let's log out. And maybe also on login page. We want to put this StackOverflow login, and on register page is it register page? Yes, let's add StackOverflow register. Yes. Here maybe we want also to add name. So let's quickly add this. Under email we want also to have your name, and it will be type text, and this will be this state name, and on change would set the name to the value. And let's see if we have it. On register we'll also put this, send this name, and here we'll put it in our state. So let's do, and let's go to user routes, and on register let's see what do we have. Email, password, and we need also name. And let's see where we are inserting data. Here we are inserting data. We are inserting email, password as a hashed password. Let's put also name here. Okay, and let's quickly test register. Let's register test1 at example.com and Mr. Test1 and password test1. Register. It worked. We are not showing any information here. Right, let's reload. Let's check user, Mr. Test1. Okay, let's fix this small bug. Let's see on the profile. Okay, so after someone registers, let's go to register page. We get the we get the token sent, and we set it, but we also check off. And let's check this check off. we do fetch information from profile, but we are not getting anything from the response. Let's see why. User routes. Let's see. Are we sending token? Request. Cookie token, yes, we are sending. And then do I need to add that send? No. Let's see if we have an error here. No, we get 200, but the user is empty. Let's see if we get here console log user. Let's reload here. Okay, it's undefined. Let's do maybe token. Okay, so I think that after registration we are not putting the token here. That's why we need to log in and log out again, but I can fix it. So after inserting the data, we get we send the token with the cookie, but we want also to update users where ID of this user. So it will be let's do email is email. Then I want to update token is token. So it will be db users where this update, then we do response with the cookie. So now let's I can't even log out. Let's do application token. I will remove this token. Now we are not logged in. Login. Register. Test2 at example.com. Test2. Test2. Register. And now we are logged in and everything works. Test2 total point 0. Yes, it works. Okay, I think that the small thing that doesn't work is that we are getting that homepage for someone else. So let's see, where do we get it? Network. Let's see. Questions. Okay, it's at questions. So question routes. And here we are getting all the questions. Here we are getting token. Do we have an error here? Let's do error console log error. And let's refresh here. And no, this seems to work, but we have only 3 questions. Why? Let's console log tag name and token. So tag name is undefined, but we have token. So we are getting inside this if, and then we are getting logged in user. Okay, but this user object is not used. So we are getting user tags from user tags table without any where clause. So where user ID is user.id. Now if I refresh, we have no questions because there are no tags we are watching. But where we are getting tags, we need to check if it's not empty. So if user tags length is bigger than 0, and if, then we are going to do this. And this user does not watch any tags, so it will see all the questions. And if it will watch only PHP, let's follow this one. Okay, now I'm following PHP because it says unfollow here. Start page. I see only one question, PHP question. Alright, so now everything works. I can register, I can log in, I can leave questions. Maybe try to ask a question. Test 2 asks a question. Test. Let's make this a link to Google. Test link to google.com and some tags. Let's do express and PHP post question. Oops. And it works. I have total point 0. Maybe I will vote my own question. Like this. I have 1 point. Alright, so it works. I can leave an answer. Okay, one thing that doesn't work, why can't I leave a comment here under my question? So let's go to a question page. Who and when? Let's see. And let's see, we have question meta and we have comments. Let's do here Why we are not showing this blue button link? Okay, so this one is not showing if there are not any comments. Alright, so okay, this one is wrong. Yeah, it should be like this. Even if there are no comments, we want to use these comments. So test comment of Mr. Test2 and comment. Yeah, it works. I can upvote my comment. Then I will have 2 points. Everything works. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching. And there can be many things that you can add to this application that is not MVP, like better statistics here, or I don't know, some cool stuff. But image upload or something, I don't know. But the basic functionality works. You can leave questions, you can ask questions, and you can leave comments on questions and answers. And there are profiles and usernames, and you can edit profiles and stuff like this. Yeah, the most important stuff that Stack Overflow has, I have implemented it all. The basic functionality, questions and answers and comments and tags and points. So there can be some bugs, there can be some stuff that I have missed, but I feel that it's done. There are some bugs, but it's fine. The MVP is done. There are some maybe parts that I have missed, but otherwise it works. It's not as beautiful as Stack Overflow, but it works. And I will push all the code to my GitHub, so we can leave some create some issues there, and I will maybe put it online and leave a link in comments of this video. But yeah, this project is done. Thanks for being with me, thanks for watching. I hope that we can build even more projects in the future. So consider subscribing, leave a like, because this one took me many hours to build, and I hope you appreciate it. So yeah, thanks again, and see you around in the next project.